السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. This is the Novel Quran. This is the simple understanding of the Quran, where we can make the Quran understandable in English according to Muhammad bin Al-Sharawi. So all what we are trying to achieve over here is a reflection the way Muhammad bin Al-Sharawi presented in Egypt. Introduction number one. What's the Quran? As we know that the Quran is a revelation that came with Prophet Muhammad, and it's the Islamic book. The Quran explanation overall. Sharawi has some moment and reflection, but not explanation. The Imam, he refrained himself from saying that he explained the Quran, because if there is anyone could explain the Quran, would it be Prophet Muhammad himself? If Prophet Muhammad didn't do that, of course, but if he would have done that, that means the Quran at this point is freeze. Nobody can even have more input on the Quran anymore after the Prophet Muhammad. But Prophet Muhammad, he only explained what is necessary to do and don't at that time, which is what the instruction of Islam, what you should do and what you shouldn't do, and the halal and haram. And it's a lot of things to cover at that time. But at the same time, the Quran came up with a lot of ayahs and surahs and chapters that has a scientific and universal miracles or information. At that time, there's no way that the Quraysh, the Arab tribes at that time, could have understand what was that. So Prophet Muhammad didn't say anything about it, but he explained that probably the next generation will come up and understand more what is the meaning of all of that. And that's a miracle of itself. How come Prophet Muhammad knows there is more miracles, more information will come up out of the Quran in the next generation? Of course, it's not his ability. He's a human being, but he's inspired by Allah. All right, this is one of the first miracles that we should mention over here. Does the Quran communicate directly to our soul? What does it mean? As that question, it might confuse somebody, but I will simplify it to you. When the words, is the words has effects on you? Of course, I might say a kind word to you that will give you a positive reaction, a positive feeling, and might change your psychology. At the same time, I might say kind of insulting word or kind of hatred word that make you angry and upset and change your feeling into the negative way. And some words and some speech elevate you and make you motivated, and all different kind of words that create different kind of feeling. And how about feeling guilty if somebody confront you with something? All these kind of things, all these kind of feeling that you got affected by words. So the words are extremely powerful. So that means that the words might have some direct communication into your feeling and your soul. And what is the feeling? The feeling is in the heart, and the heart connected to your soul and your spirit. Look at this. And here we are a component of body and soul and spirit. Excuse me. And our mind, our heart. Technically, we know what we know about the heart is that's the functionality about the heart. But we always refer the heart as the place where we have feel, um, we have all different kind of feeling that comes out of the heart. And all of us have to agree that we have a spirit and we have soul. And these and at the time when a person or any creature die, that means the soul get it just take off out of the body, and the body is technically just a piece of trash. It's not working anymore. Uh, but at the same time, we don't know much about the spirit. But Allah told us that this word is communicated directly to the soul, and that's what we are trying to refer over here. The Quran has, when you try to read the Quran, it has sweetness, it has some kind of awakening moment that comes to you, and sometimes heal you, and of course, plus if you have understanding, that makes the whole things. If you read the Quran in Arabic, and even if you read it in English, you definitely feel that. And I'm sure lots of people knows exactly what I'm talking about. And if you are not Muslim, you might ask some other Muslim people, said, you really is, do you react to the Quran? The simple answer is, do you react to the novel? Do you have like a dramatic novel or a funny novel? Don't you laugh? Don't you get sad? Don't you react to any of these novels that the human mean that the human are the one who created? Of course, yes. So I think I get my point over here. And actually, it's there's a little story about Al-Walid ibn al-Mughira, which is a person who he used to be a disbeliever at that time, and that's before he converted to Islam, and he heard about Prophet Muhammad and the new religion, and he went to him. He's a very sophisticated in Arabic and poem, and he listened to all different kind, and he knows exactly how that works. And he went and listened to the Quran, asked Muhammad to recite the Quran, and he listened to it. And he know exactly that Muhammad, he doesn't know how to do poems, how to write poems, and he's not an expert in this. But just all of a sudden, he came up with the new religion, and he came up with the Quran. And Abu Lahab, which is one of the head of Quraysh tribe, he was against Muhammad and he wanted to get rid of Muhammad and doing anything to stop Muhammad, even killing him, it doesn't matter. And he went to Al-Walid ibn al-Mughira and he asked him, uh, he heard that the Walid ibn al-Mughira, he went to the Prophet Muhammad and his emotion changed a little bit after meeting Muhammad and listening to the Quran. عليه أفضل الصلاة والسلام. So he offered him, and we can offered him money and some kind of extra power or stuff like that. And he told him simply that you know that I have enough money, and you know exactly that I heard poems and from everywhere in Arab Peninsula. But what Muhammad is telling, mentioning that Quran is very sweet. It has sweetness and fruitful that there is never heard about it. And he says in Arabic, إن له حلاوة وإن عليه طلاوة وإن أعلاه لمثمر وإن أسفله لمغدق وإنه يعلو ولا يعلى عليه. ما شاء الله. So he says here that he never heard something like that, and it's sweet, it goes to the heart, and he swear that he never heard such words from any human being. Also, it's at that time when Prophet Muhammad used to go to the calling calling people to for Islam in Mecca, and that's before Hijrah. Um, so the people comes from everywhere around Arabs Peninsula, and he was standing in the market and calling people for the new religion, introduce them and educate them, and that was a very tough thing to do. Not like the way we do it on YouTube at our home right now, but Quraysh, when they just they try to talk to the merchants before meeting Muhammad or before passing by him and tell him there is a crazy guy over there, crazy man over there who would pretend or that he has a new religion. He is crazy. Never listen to him. And if you ever get to listen to him, randomly interrupt him so you don't listen to what he says. Technically, the Quraysh, they know the effect of the Quran on people. People change. Their chemistry and their feeling change. And this is, and they were scared. They were scared from that. They're not able to, we were not able, they weren't able to stop that. And they are telling the people, don't give ear to Quran and cause interruption when it's recited. Thus, perhaps you will gain the upper hand. And of course, they are calling their supporter to do the same. So interrupt Muhammad calling or invitation for the people. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وقال الذين كفروا لا تسمعوا لهذا القرآن لا تسمعوا لهذا القرآن والغوا فيه لعلكم تغلبون. سورة فصلت. صدق الله العظيم. So we have to agree that the Quran has a connection to your spirit. And these words are, it's really calm you down and change your chemistry, make you very, very. If you read the Quran so many times, you will get hooked up. You will get connected to the Quran. You will feel that when you get tired, you come back to it. You will have a strong connection to it, and plus the Quran is kind of it's that kind of words that you can memorize to recite, and we are Muslims required to memorize the Quran, if not all the Quran. Oh, very important point over here. If we notice that if we agree that the Quraysh tribe are sophisticated at that time and in the Arabic language, that's why the miracle of Islam, it was just words, poems, and it came to them and dared them to come up with something even close to it. Of course, they couldn't, and the Prophet Muhammad asked him to come up with a verse and just one chapter or a few ayahs, but they couldn't. And one part over here, one point over here is very important. Alif Lam Mim. Alif Lam Mim is a three different letters. But if the whole word, you can call it Alam. So some surahs that start with Alif Lam Mim, Alif Lam Mim, like Surah Al-Baqarah. On the other hand, there's some surahs start with Alam. ألم تر كيف فعل ربك بأصحاب الفيل. And that's contradicting the idea over here. How come Prophet Muhammad starting some surah with Alif, Lam, Mim, تلك آيات الله الحكيم, and some other surah is saying ألم تر كيف فعل ربك بأصحاب الفيل. The simple question over here, they would say, That doesn't make sense. Why you are starting some surah this way and the other surah this way? But they never ask that question. And this is the interesting thing. How come all these years people never get to think this is something wrong with the something going on over here? Why they are not doing this? Well, well, we don't have a clear answer for that, but for some reason that we still don't know, Allah chose to send the Quran this way, and we just submit to what Allah sent. But the disbeliever, they don't believe it. So they should have asked at least, why, Muhammad, why you are have some surah Alif Lam Mim and the other surah is Alam? But they didn't. That indicates to one thing. They listen to the Quran and they get some kind of numbness or some kind of spiritual stage that they even forgot to ask that question. And there's so many signs, but this is a couple of signs. Actually, we can actually. I'm sorry that we never get to mention about the how the Umar ibn Khattab converted to Islam or embraced Islam. He it's for something similar over here. When he heard that his sister went convert and her husband converted to Islam, he went straight to them, and he confirmed that. He asked her if you embraced Islam. She said yes, and he kept beating her up physically until she bleeded out. When he saw the blood coming out of her, her heart get tender, and he gets some warm feeling for his sister. And he asked her, "What Muhammad told you for you in order to believe in him?" And she started to recite the Quran for him. And he said, "That can be Muhammad words. It's impossible." And he got puzzled, and he went straight to Prophet Muhammad to ask him what kind of Quran that he has and where that came from. And right away, he converted over there. At this point, we will end over here, and we will see you, inshallah, soon. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace and mercy and blessing of God be upon you all.